Oh, really? This should be super interesting. Well. Hey, what you doing?
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cosmic Wonder. Yesterday, Marvel did a huge announcement announcing half, or at least a part of, the cast for Avengers Doomsday. Yes, there is going to be more. A lot of fans have noticed that they didn't mention people like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. They didn't reveal a chair for Brie Larson, or Mark Ruffalo, or Benedict Cumberbatch. People we...
No one wants Brie Larson there. Yeah, Captain Marvel sucks.
We know are going to be in this movie. But don't worry, it's already been confirmed that there's going to be another casting announcement. And today we have learned a lot of plot details about Avengers Doomsday, which does include a plan for the Avengers vs. X-Men, which makes sense considering how many X-Men they have announced are going to be returning for Avengers Doomsday. We have learned so much since the announcement yesterday about the plot of Avengers Doomsday, and there's so much to break down. The Avengers vs. X-Men, Doctor Strange and Clea, what Doom is thinking right now, and specifically why our universe is about to deal with an incursion. And of course, another casting announcement that's coming, so let's break it all down. So as soon as the Marvel livestream event ended and Robert Downey Jr. was shown at the end, The Hollywood Reporter came out and said their sources told them that even with the 26 actors announced, Marvel is not done revealing the entire cast. Although when and how another unveiling will occur is unknown at this point in time. And then on Instagram, Robert Downey Jr. and Marvel Studios basically confirmed that there's more to come as well, with Robert Downey Jr. stating, "That's what you call a deep bench of talent. Actually, it's more like a row, but an extra long one. That must be it, right?" And Marvel Studios, the official account, replied with, "There's always room for more." Confirming, more are going to be coming. Of course, we're going to get Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Mark Ruffalo's The Hulk is going to return, so fear not. And with the announcement of this already huge cast...
Yeah, hopefully we can get a Savage Hulk, rather than this crap we've been getting with him.
Everyone is wondering, well, how exactly is Marvel Studios going to handle this ginormous cast in one movie? What is the plot going to be? Well, Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus breaks it down in a
This many people in it feels like it needs to be a 3-hour movie.
Recent article on thecosmiccircus.com. And yes, it does include a plot for the Avengers vs. X-Men. In fact,
it looks really stupid. I assume whatever they design for the movie is going to be badass, I assume.
This article talks about a lot. The plot of Doctor Doom, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau, and of course, the X-Men and what he calls the final incursion. He even talks about some characters that are going to side with Doctor Doom. So let's dive into it. So talking about
they
the
better
final
not.
incursion, Alex says, we're about to see an incursion unfold for the first time on screen in Avengers Doomsday in real time. Meaning we will see the incursion happen. We'll see the two universes collide. He says it's going to be between Earth 616, our main sacred timeline, and what he calls the Divergent X-Men universe. He calls it the Divergent X-Men universe because it's essentially going to be treated in the same fashion that Daredevil received. So it's all connected, but they're not really going to address anything that happened before. But it is connected, and all of these X-Men characters that we've seen in the past, the ones that have been announced and the ones that haven't, will basically all be from the Fox X-Men movies. Alex says, for general audience purposes, the main idea is that the Divergent X-Men universe is going to be the one that is set after the events of X-Men Days of Future Past, or rather a variant of that universe where similar events happened. This is how Rebecca Romijn's Mystique is able to return in the film. So anybody who was in that movie is basically fair game. And he does say that Jean Grey and Storm will be in the lineup of the X-Men as well. And it most likely will be Halle Berry and Famke Janssen who do return to play their roles. Now, one thing that's interesting is he says that Deadpool and Wolverine will be involved, but he's not sure if they're actually from that specific Days of Future Past universe. But he says they are coming back, obviously. And of course, so is Channing Tatum's Gambit. And he's heard that X-23, Elektra, and Wesley Snipes' Blade are also expected to return. He also kind of alluded a little bit to Nicolas Cage returning as Ghost Rider. So that's awesome. Now,
no, I've never seen the Ghost Rider movies. Never seen them. Yeah, I know. As well as, first of all, I was never a fan of them in the comic books. I would see them from time to time, but I didn't know much about them. You know what I'm saying? Then when they came out with the movies, I just wasn't interested. Went to see all the Blade movies, but the Ghost Rider movies, and it just never. The trailers never made me say, "Ooh, I gotta see that." And I didn't become a fan of Nick Cage's acting until later in his career. So, yeah. And why did that just stop? Oh, no, you don't. You don't stop recording when I'm talking. Alrighty.
As far as what is happening to cause an incursion to happen between these two universes,
Something's
Alex
going
says
on.
that it's because of Monica Rambeau and the post-credit scene.
What is happening here? What is going on? Hold on. What the hell is going on here? This has never happened before.
For the Marvels. In the post-credit scene for the Marvels, Monica Rambeau woke up in a different universe, and there she saw Hank McCoy's Beast. And he mentioned Professor X. This is that X-Men universe, Days of Future Past universe that Alex is talking about. And she's the reason that the incursion between that universe and our universe is happening. And they did explain this in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. They did say that when you're in a universe that you're not supposed to be in, it throws the universe off balance. And incursions happen that way. And it does make sense. She's in another universe, which pulls the universe that she is originally from towards that universe. According to Alex, she's going to team up with Lashana Lynch's Bind.
It's strange that one person could do that. You know what I'm saying? You get trapped in another universe, and all of a sudden it makes them collide.
Who is Maria Rambeau.
Almost like your universe wants you back, and it's like...
mother, who we saw in that post-credit scene, to try and stop the incursions from happening. But while they're trying to find a way to reverse the polarity of the incursions between the two Earths already start happening. But here's the kicker. When it starts happening, they don't really know what's happening. They don't know about incursions. What they think is happening is that their world is being invaded by...
I made a huge smoothie. Like, filled the whole thing. So I had to fit in 2 cups.
By another world, and the only way to save theirs is to destroy the other. And this is coming straight from the comics. This is how it actually is. When an incursion happens, both universes will die unless one of them gets destroyed. So as you've probably guessed, this is going to lead to the Avengers vs. X-Men inside of Avengers Doomsday. And this is what Alex actually calls the heart of the matter. He says this was apparently the purpose of the setup for the post-credit scene of Captain America 4 by the leader. This is what he was referring to. He claims that he may or may not have implanted that idea in Sam's head. So when the incursion happens, Sam Wilson will lead the Avengers and basically go toe-to-toe with the X-Men. And this is going to be the Avengers vs. X-Men storyline at...
That'll be wild. That'll be wild. That'll be wild. But it feels like there's no build-up to it. I don't know how they could. Well, I guess they could build up to it in the next coming movies. We'll see.
Aspect of the Doomsday plot. And he did say that he's heard a rumor.
It's kind of weird because in Batman v Superman we got Doomsday way too fast. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny that we're getting this in a movie called Doomsday too fast. But we'll see. Maybe it won't be too fast. We'll see how Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four is, and we'll see how they build things up.
That this is where Savage Hulk is going to finally come back and take on Wolverine. So we finally could get that Wolverine versus the Hulk scene we've been dying to see. But in its full glory, in a full fight. Not like what we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine, although that was cool. They didn't actually fight. He says that the Avengers vs. the X-Men isn't going to be the whole movie. That's not what it's going to be about. But he compares it to the Avengers fighting the Hulk in the first Avengers film. So they'll dedicate some time to it, but it's just going to be one point of the film. And he says because of the incursion, we'll get to see the X-Men and the Brotherhood team up against the Avengers. And he also added, which I'm sorry, but the MCU's Avengers are so effing cooked, in my opinion. And sure, depending on who shows up, the X-Men might be kind of OP, but I honestly don't care who wins. I just want to see it happen. Now, another subplot is Captain Marvel tying in Shang-Chi to the equation, plus connecting with the other Avengers. And this makes sense. He says...
If you had to pick who you want to win, who you want to win. I mean, I've grown to love the Avengers more than the X-Men, period. Of those movies never really did it for me anyway like that. So, overall, yeah, but... what they've tried to make our beloved Avengers now is. But the original Avengers, I'd rather see them go over the X-Men. Tell me what you'd want.
Carol feels guilty about losing Monica, so she wants to bring her back, obviously. She's doing everything she can to analyze the bangle and recreate the event that separated them, which Alex Perez says is really dangerous. So she enlists the help of Bruce Banner and Wong, which is how they tie into the Shang-Chi post-credit scene and how Shang-Chi gets tied into it. Meanwhile, Kamala Khan is on her recruitment journey to try and find young heroes for the Young Avengers team, and is also on her own mission to use the bangle to try and find a way to get into that Earth safely to bring Monica home and stop the incursion from happening. So that's how the Marvels gets tied into what is happening. That makes a lot of sense. Now, concerning the Fantastic Four, Alex doesn't say much, but he does say that the Fantastic Four are living happily in their own universe, except Reed toys around with the fabric of existence because he keeps trying to find other worlds. And he says that the smartest man alive, Reed Richards, being dumb is a common thread. So maybe he gets a little too careless messing around with the fabric of existence there. Now for Spider-Man, Strange and Clea, and Doom. He says Spider-Man doesn't want to deal with any of what is happening at all, but he gets forced into it anyways. He does hear that Spider-Man is going to finally get the symbiote suit. It is basically going to be the No Way Home final suit, but black and white. So that's awesome, and honestly it does kind of make sense given everything that happened to him in Spider-Man No Way Home. Poor kid just wants a break, but of course, he still is Peter Parker and Spider-Man, so he's gonna join the fight. Now, Alex says that Doctor Strange and Clea get involved.
The third eye looks so stupid on him. And weird. I don't like looking at it.
With Doom. So it sounds like that's going to be pretty similar to what happens in the comics as Doctor Doom and Molecule Man are going around trying to essentially save the multiverse. Eventually they realize they can't, and Doctor Strange joins them at the end, and Doctor Doom says, "We can't save it all, so isn't it better, rather than saving nothing, we save just one thing?" And Doctor Strange ultimately agrees, so perhaps that's going to be his role with him and Clea. And in the leaked concept art that we saw for Avengers Doomsday / Secret Wars, we did see Doom on his throne, presumably in Battleworld, and we did see Sheriff Strange, Doctor Strange, on his side. So this all makes sense. Now, as far as Doom's role, Doom thinks he's the hero. New mask, same task, saving the universe, or in this case, the entire multiverse. He says that he hates and blames Kang and the TVA. The final part of the movie is all roads lead to the TVA. Full-on variant multiversal war erupts inside of the TVA, and that sounds freaking dope. He does say that Loki is the MacGuffin.
Oh, no, there's enough room in the TVA for him to be fighting.
Or the plot device that drives the entire story, pretty much, but ultimately kind of becomes irrelevant to the entire meaning of it. We'll have to see what he means by that. And he did say that Sylvie is as tragic as a Shakespeare play, which could mean...
Who gives up about Sylvie?
Sylvie dies, but we'll have to wait and see.
Bye.
Alex has actually mentioned many of these points before in the past over time, but he actually mentioned...
Everybody tuned in to watch Loki, and they made it to Sylvie's show.
Now that the cast has been announced, it seems like
still
everything
good,
else that he has heard
we saw
is
what they
true.
were doing.
So this is probably
People were
what
irritated
we really
highly.
are looking at to be the actual plot of Avengers Doomsday. And I gotta say, it actually sounds really good. It sounds like it's gonna tie everything in together pretty well. We have the multiverse, we have the TVA, we have the post-credit scene of the Marvels, Deadpool and Wolverine with the X-Men, that all checks out. I mean, I actually think if this is what the movie is gonna be, it's all gonna be handled very, very well. And I'm super excited for this. And the cast is gonna be absolutely huge. But go ahead, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below, and look out for CinemaCon D23 San Diego Comic-Con for when we could get that part.
Very interesting, sir. Very, very interesting. So what do you all think? I mean, that doesn't sound bad to me. It doesn't sound like a bad story at all. It sounds like it would work. You know, we're just going to see if the Russos and everybody can pull it off and bring Marvel back. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this movie to bring Marvel back. We shall see. 10 million subscribers. Woo! Make sure you subscribe to the Cosmic Wonder. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun.